Hello, so welcome back. So on the previous video we saw, we achieve at we go at this point. So on our design we managed to insert two inputs, so input fields, we insert the placeholders, and next thing we need to do, we need to add these borders. As you can see, they have a beautiful borders with some border radius, as well as we have this horizontal feature whereby we have two elements within the horizontal. So we'll add these two elements as well as the designing this login button. So let's go ahead, without further ado, let's go ahead and now focus on designing our these two components here, then the last one, then later we'll now design this layout, add icons and other things. So right now let's go ahead and now add another layout. So as I said before, as you can see this, you see very clearly that this is what we call linear layout, where elements have been arranged below each other in a sequential way. So in a sequential order, every element, the second element will appear below the first element. So to achieve this part here, whereby we have a checkbox, and the next part we have the forgot password clickable text. To achieve this, we need to change our layout to something like will support the horizontal design. So to do that, we need to create another linear layout inside the actual layout. We have this linear layout that has the features of vertical orientation, but inside this layout, whereby it's inside here, this place here, we need to create another linear layout, but this time it will be horizontal layout. So let's go ahead and do that. So we'll have a linear layout, and then this linear layout, it will be, you want this linear layout to take a width of specific width. So it will take a specific width because we want it to align with our, as you can see here, these, remember me and they forgot, they are aligned with, as you can see, they are aligned at the same place. So we need to specify the linear layout with the same width, the same thing that we use within our input or edit text. So we'll simply specify this width. We'll be using the same width, which is 300 dp. So we'll be using here 300 dp. So we'll be using 300 dp. That will be our width. And on our height as well, we're using, because we're using another element inside it, we'll be using something like 60 dp. Okay, then you close that, and then we need to specify something else within this linear layout. So we need to tell that we will be using an horizontal. So this linear layout will have an orientation of horizontal. So we'll be using horizontal this time. So our element that will be inserted inside here, they will be in horizontal way. They will be placed in a horizontal way. Another thing we need to do, we need to add some space. Right now it has touched the end side. On the left side it has touched it here. So we need to add the same equal space that we use on these other inputs. So let's go ahead and create this, or make sure that we have this space here. So we had a margin at the start, which is 40 dp. Simply use that. So come here and type a margin start. We need to give it a margin start of 40 dp as well. As you can see right now, it's looking good. It has also moved or have the same space. Again, we need to add some stop space here. We need to add some space. As you can see, there is a space here, so we need to ensure there is this space. So by doing that, simply get back to our code, and we need to add some margin top. So we'll add some margin here, add some margin top, and margin top something like 12 dp. That one is not looking bad. Now right now we have some space here, and then this space is too big because we copy paste the text, and this text had a margin top at this point below the loading. That's why you see this space here is too big. So we'll reduce that, and we'll simply need to reduce it, the margin top, which was 32, and make it something like 12. Yeah, for this part, let's have a small space. As you can see here, it's too small, so that's why it decreases that. It's good to at least ensure that our design align with this one that we browse it on the website. Try to come up with something same like this. So it's good to try these small things, at least you gain little knowledge, and that's what we call learning. So the next thing we'll do, now we have within our linear layout, we need to add at least some margin as well, I mean some padding, whereby our elements will have some space. Right now this part is not visible, or I mean it's not visible, but there is a space around this element. So if this part was to be made visible, if it will be visible, maybe you'll see that this element that are inside here, they have some space. So just make use of some padding, at least a little padding. You can have some little padding to ensure that this element have some space. So a padding of 4dp, it will be not be bad. And then once we are done with that, now we can come outside this linear, but inside, I mean outside this small arrow, meaning all these features that we are adding, they'll be for our linear, but any element now should be placed inside this design. So let's go ahead and place our first element, which our first element is a checkbox. So the checkbox name, I mean the checkbox is the name, remember me. So let's go ahead and do that. So click that tag and add a checkbox, and this checkbox you want to take it a specific length, so it's good to use a wrap content because it will take the actual length of our text. And then also the height will have the same, then close that. And then the next thing we'll need to do, we'll need to add the text. So add the text here as well as usual. Let's go ahead and add string for this. So let's go ahead and have another extra string here, control copy, and then you create another string, and this string will be for checkbox. So let's type here checkbox, and then here it will be remember, the text will be remember me, that way. Control save, and again, because we know we need another one for forgot password, let's just finish all of that here. So copy this again, and let's done with all of that. And then we need here for remember, it should be forgot password. So type here forgot, and then our text will be forgot password. It will be forgot, it will be forgot password, that way. Control save. Then let's back to our design and using it here. So it's within the string, and we call it remember me something. It should be somewhere here. We use okay, it's not someone, let's just type it manually. String, it should be string slash something remember me, if I'm not wrong. I even forgot what name we used it. Oh, it should be checkbox, sorry, supposed to be checkbox, exactly. So checkbox, hit tab to complete that, and then we need to, there are two strings, two speech marks there. Then again we need to do what again, looking based on our reference design, we'll need to make this text not much visible. We'll do that. So but they need to increase the text size. So let's come here and increase the text size to something like 17 sp. So something like 17 sp, which is looking more bigger. Let's do it 16. Then let's use 16. Yeah, 16 is looking much better, and also add some padding as well, so that it give that element some space. So adding some padding and 4dp as usual. So that one is done, it's complete. The next thing we need to add here another extra text that was forgot password. So we need to add the forgot password here. So let's go ahead and create another, we need to create another, this will be a text view. For this is a text view. So let's go ahead and create a text view. So because we have already created a text view here, we'll simply need to copy this. Don't have to repeat yourself all along and you are doing the same thing. Just copy that, paste it here, and then we will modify it. Those things that we don't need, we will modify them, so don't mind. Okay, wrap content is okay. String, now change this to forgot. And then the next thing we need to do, specify the text size is okay. Margin top, delete this, so that again text size, change this to something like 17, the one we use it there, 16, sorry. And then we need to remove the bold, don't need the bold. And again the font family is okay. Also this you can use the same font family, so you can use your font families as well. You can use a font family of condense, sans serif condense, also it will be good. And then let's come back to our text view and try to see what else. So we need to adjust it to give it some space here. You can see it has touched this place. They have been look like they have been connected, so we need to add some space. So we need a margin start. We need to add a margin start, and we need to change this style to be something like italic. As you can see, it's looking like italic. So we need to do that by going to text style. Text style, it will be italic, and then we need to give it a margin start, margin or padding. Let's use padding start. It will be padding start because it is a text, using a padding start. And padding start will be something like 12 dp. Again, that's too small, let's use 32. Yeah, that's not bad. Then we need to add some top, like add some space at the some padding at the top as well. So we'll go ahead and add some padding top. And with padding top, let's add something like 20 dp. It's too big. 12 dp. Okay, let's see that one. Okay, it's not looking bad, but the space here is very big, so we'll reduce that. Let's see what's wrong with this. Okay, let's have some or let me try something here, like gravity should be end, something like that. I need to push this text at the far end. Okay, it's not effective. Let's use gravity layout and see underscore gravity layout. Okay, it is not effective, so let's not just complicate things. For now, just keep adding this padding here. Let's keep 42 so that it try to push this element defined, as well as we need to define the margin end as well. So we need to have a margin end here. We need to have a margin end as well, and then we need to keep it something like just something like 10 dp is okay. So that's okay, it's looking good for that part. The thing that we need to do, we need to reduce this space here. This space here is too big. That's why the use of this, what we call design blueprint, comes in. So let's expand this and try to reduce this a little bit more, and you can see here, okay, it's not showing good, but there is a lot of space here. So let me try to zoom it. Okay, it's fine, but this place, when you run this application here, it will have a lot of space, and we don't want to do that. As you can see, it will have a lot of space here, so we need to make sure at least the space is too small. So this can be done by just ensuring that this layout, the linear layout, we reduce the space, which is exactly the margin top. Let's make it something like, let's remove in fact that margin top and see. Yeah, at least it's not bad. Or something like, yes, back to this part here and make something like, let's say 4 dp. just in case too, but let's use that one. So that's okay. Now the next thing we need to do, we need now to add our button. So let's go ahead and have this beautiful button of ours. First of all, we'll create a button, and then in the next video we'll now finalize our project by just adding icons and other things. But for now, let's add our logging button. So come here outside this linear layout. We are done with this horizontal layout. Come it outside it. So it's clothing at this point, so we need to come outside that linear, but maintain you should be inside this the actual layout. And then here we'll add another tag for button, and this button will have a width as well as we'll specify a width. So this button at least will have an actual, if you can see here very clearly, this is a fixed width that it has been mentioned that someone, the designer behind this, specified the button width as well as the button height. So we'll specify a width something like this. So it's something like 200 to 240 width, maybe. Let's see 240. Let's see 240 dp and see how it will look like. It's too big, so let's use 200. Okay, and then let's use a height of 40 dp, and then let's close it first of all, and then we need, as you can see, 40. The height is too small. What about we check 50? Yeah, 50 is not bad. And then let's reduce width to something like 180. List, yeah, that is okay. The next thing we need to do, we need to add some text. So let's go ahead and add button text here. So create a button text, and then as well as usual, let's create a text, string text for that. Control copy, you simply need to paste here, and Control V, change this to button. This will be for button, and then should be double T. Then change all these things to login with capital, so it should be login that way. And then Control save, and then come back here and use our string. So we'll use string, then string with our button. It's here, simply click that and click enter. Now we have our text here, logging. And then the next thing we need to do, we need to specify the size, text size. So it's almost the same. Yeah, there's no need of us alter it. It's almost the same, so leave this, the text size. Okay, it's okay. Then the next thing we need to do to add, to give this a margin start. So we need to add that margin start. So let's click here and just know that to check which margin start we use, which it was 40 dp. So use this 40 dp. You can copy that and simply come here at the button, and then you add that as well. You can add that. Okay, that's okay. The next thing we need to do, we need to add some space here at the top. So we need to add another margin, but this time it will be the same, but we'll change this to margin top. Change this to margin top that way. And then instead of 40 is too big, we just need something like 20 dp. And if you can check here, there is a space here. It's not much big, but because this is an as a vertical, I mean it has a layout of vertical, that's why we need to add at least more space to make it look better, because this was designed for a laptop or anything that is landscape. That's why you see they try to squeeze those design more close, but for us is an application, so at least adding a little bit more space, it will look, making it look perfect and good. So we'll leave that space for now, and in the next video we need to add icons, we need to add a color and this border. So this is what I'll be remaining with, and before that we have a question mark here, so we need to add here as well. So let's come back to a string, and where we have forgot password, simply add a question mark, then Control save, and now it's good. So it's having that question mark, but the space is limited. This is because of the padding that we used here. We used too much padding, so we'll reduce padding start to something like 32, and for that reason it has reduced it, as now looking perfect. That's okay. Or we may leave the padding the way it was, 42, and then we change the padding and to something like just something like 2 is okay with that, and then we still achieve the same thing, and that's okay, that's cool. Now in the next video we will add icons as well as the button color, those border radius and all things. Right now this is our default color, as you can see this is our default color, so we'll get rid of this, and that's where the use of theme will come in. So we'll modify our theme so that to remove this default color. So see you in the next video. Remember to subscribe, share and comment. See you in the next video. It's goodbye.